Hello everyone and welcome to Bacon. Also, welcome to Cinderella Phenomenon. I have not really read up on this or anything like that. I just know it's apparently some type of a dating sim thing and I got it for free on Steam. Let's get started. I don't need no tutorial. Once upon a time in a kingdom far, far away, there were two crystals. One was the Crystallum Lucis, protected by the ruler of the Flowers. The other was the Crystallum Tenebrum, which was watched over by the high leader of the witches. The Lucis was sustained by love, happiness, and joy, and of course the one that's watched over by witches is the evil one, filled with anger, fear, and hatred. Of course, the fairies and witches lived in harmony with the humans of the kingdom. They regulated the powers of the crystal in order to maintain balance between darkness and light. For there can be no joy without sadness, no courage without fear. The kingdom was at peace for a long time. Then one day a traveling bard decided to write stories, tales of the magic and wonders of the kingdom. He named these stories fairy tales. In fairy tales, the light always emerged victorious and true love was a usual reward. The fairy tales spread further than could have been predicted. I read that great. The humans of the kingdom began to believe that fairy tales were true and that the magic of the witches was inherently wicked and cruel. The witches became hated and feared. Eventually they were hunted like animals. No! The witch hunt. The high leader of the witches and all of her anger created the Fairytale Curse. You think we're wicked? So be it. Reminds me of the play Wicked already. Just, well, not completely, because there was like sexual themes and junk, but I just meant that you want me to be bad? Then I will be bad. Just as you have taken our happily ever afters, we shall take yours. The witches used the Fairytale Curse to attack humans indiscriminately, ultimately throwing the kingdom into chaos and darkness. The ruler of the fairies, the Lucis Bearer, sought to regain peace. The witches were blinded by their hatred for humans who were responsible for the witch genocide. A terrible war, the Great War, began. Eventually, the Tenebrum Bearer, the high leader of the witches, was finally defeated. The Tememe was lost. Peace was restored and the light once again triumphed. But darkness can never fully disappear. It waits in the shadows, patient for when its time will inevitably return. Sign here. I guess we'll just go with Lucette. It's fine. I did. Oh, I had to press enter. I'm used to only having to use the mouse for stuff. My name is Lucette Riella Breton, daughter of King Demena Breton. I am the crown princess of the kingdom of NGL. Why do you have to make all the names weird? At least that was who I used to be. But that was before yesterday, when I became a victim of the infamous Fairytale Curse. Hosier and Glover. Everyone has forgotten my birthright. Now I am nothing more than a lowly peasant. I feel like I am stuck in a nightmare. But no, this is my reality now. I still have no idea what I must do to break the curse. I close my eyes and remember that day. It had started out like any other day. Have you heard? Another person was cursed. She makes it sound like that this happened like an eon ago when she already said it was yesterday. Or at least the day before yesterday. Like very, very soon time. I am on my way to the dining hall for breakfast when I stop and listen to the sound of hushed voices. There are two maids standing next to each other with brooms in hand. They plan on beating me with them. These two are slacking off again. That's terrible. What fairytale curse was it? They say it was Pinocchio. Pinocchio? The fairy tale with the lying boy whose nose grows longer? That's awful. More and more people have been getting cursed lately. You think those wicked witches are up to something again? I thought the Fairytale Curses would stop after who was defeated. You two were hired to work, not talk. We're sorry, Your Highness. As can only be expected from the likes of them. Girl, you were coming off like you frickin' deserved what you got. Another fairytale curse. The fairytale curse started spreading even before the Great War began. I do not have much interest in its effects even now. After all, most humans probably deserve to get cursed. The victims are weak. Oh my gosh, girl. You could have not have been begging for a curse any harder. Angel would be better off without the dead weight. If it were up to Mother, the cursed would have been banished from Angel the instant they fell prey to it. But Mother is not here anymore, and she will not come back. Ever. Princess, the king and queen are waiting in the dining hall. I am on my way. You are an awful person so far, lady. The king, Ophelia, and Rod are all present in the dining hall. Ophelia and Rod. Someone is conspicuously missing, but I ignore their absence. King Gennaro, good morning, Lucette. I'm not gonna try. I just thought that was funny. Good morning, Your Majesty. I don't do voice acting. Good morning, Lucette. Maybe if I had like a friend with me, but all my friends tend to do that thing where it's like, I'll ask them to actually attempt, or at least not make it so ridiculous that I want to smack them or something. You know what I mean? Like, it gets to the point where it goes from being funny to just being really cracky, and you're like, alright, time to calm down. I don't have friends that know the difference. So I'm not gonna bother. Ophelia Widensov. Every day I wonder why my father the king married a lowly baker. She could never be a true queen, for she pales in comparison to Mother. I take my seat next to the king, then look up at the person sitting opposite me. He got a bunny on his shoulder! Rod Benedict Windensov, my stepbrother, is bored and quiet as usual. He is 2 years my junior and is the younger of Ophelia's children. He is mute and uses a plush bunny to voice his thoughts. It's apparently given to him by a fairy. That's kind of cool. His name's Rod. He's Rod. He minds his own business and is easy to deal with, but his older sister... My eyes go to the empty seat beside him. She is probably the most infuriating person I have ever had the displeasure of knowing. Emmeline. I'm so sorry I'm late. I was reading and forgot the time. And here she is. Good morning, dear father, mother. Good morning, Rod. And good morning to you too, Lucette. It's a beautiful morning, isn't it? Emmeline Winensov. I hope I'm even saying that right. Rod's elder sister and my stepsister. Widensov. She acts as if we are blood, as if she too were born a princess. As if she could be crowned princess, perhaps steal my place. I will never let that happen. Now that everyone is here, let us begin. Do they have particular pronunciations, or does it matter? I know sometimes when the creators make names, they do have a particular pronunciation, but oftentimes they don't care. Like, for instance, there was Voldemort, who apparently... What was originally said was it was supposed to be said as Voldemort. And of course, they never did that in the movies and stuff. People were like, well, they didn't say it that way in the movies, so you're wrong. She straight up said that's how you're supposed to say it, but that she did not care if you said it or pronounced it with the T at the end. But it was supposed to be Voldemort, not Voldemort. Feel free to debate me on that. Feel free. Go right ahead. Trans rights. Anyway, butlers glide inside with silver trays to carefully serve us breakfast. So, Emmeline, you were reading the fairy tale books the king brought you? Oh yes, there are so many, and they are all so wonderful. Thank you so much, Father. I am happy that you like them. I love them. It's so strange that the library didn't have any of them to begin with. That's because Mother hated them. She had all the books burned. But why? They are such charming stories. Fairy tales mislead humans into believing they can have things they do not deserve. Fame, riches, love, happily ever afters. And when their wishes do not come to fruition exactly as they want them to, the humans blame the witches for granting them in the first place. What are you implying about the witches, Lucette? The atmosphere shifts, the air in the room growing heavy. I continue to eat. Perhaps witches are not responsible for the evil in this world. Perhaps humans are the cause of their own downfall. Do you have any idea what you were talking about, child? This is the one time so far that I will agree with Miss Lucette because, that's be true. Witches have caused nothing but pain and suffering to this kingdom. Even now they still spread the fairytale curse to our innocent subjects. Are you sure? Are you sure that they're innocent? The truth is, I know very little about the time the witches had free reign over Angel. I was very young then, and Mother forbade me to leave the palace, sometimes even my room. I know nothing of the people's supposed pain and Mother kept me away from everyone, and so I cannot bring myself to care. How do you know the cursed are innocent? Our people have been toiling day and night to rebuild Angel after the Great War. Our people are the kingdom's foundation, and I am endlessly grateful for their determination and resolve. I at least like how he seems to appreciate the people, at least. I also like that he married a beggar. It kind of reminds me of Princess Sophia. Every day I wonder what your mother taught you about. Leave Mother out of this. Dear, please. Lucette, darling, your father didn't mean to. I am not one of your children, Ophelia. I do not need your sympathy. Lucette, you will show your mother respect. She is not my mother. I set down my fork and knife and stand up. I am done. Excuse me. My father and I have never got on, but our relationship has significantly... Oh, wow. I had like a freaking partial sneeze. Sorry. But our relationship has significantly worsened since he married the baker. And that sniffling noise must have just been so attractive just now. I hope you enjoyed that free show. My father, the king. It has been 17 years and I have never felt any love from him. He treats Emmeline and Rod, who only entered our life 1 year ago, like his own children, better than he has ever treated me. This has been my life ever since Mother passed away 4 years ago. Mother was the only one that was there for me when no one else was. If it wasn't for the accident during the Great War, she would still be here. Why the sour face so early in the morning, Princess? Oh, hello. Cute anime boiler. How you doing? Let me guess. It's the king, the queen, or Princess Emmeline. Or is it all of them? I ignore his question. Fritz, what are you doing here so early? I'm running some errands for my father. Fitzgerald, Aiden Leverton, son of the highest knight of the Order of Caldera. Why so many crazy names? His father, Sir Alcester, has served the royal family for many years. Sir Alcester is one of the king's most trusted advisors. 3 years ago, Fritz was assigned the honor of becoming my personal knight. Oh, really? Does he do some personal knighting for you then? His presence is the only company I can tolerate nowadays. You should wait in the throne room then. Thank you. Princess? Yes. You know, I haven't seen you smile once since I met you. Why is that of any importance? Yeah, Fritz. Why are you guys making me have to agree with this girl? Still, I do hope to see you smile one day, Princess. Why, you think I'll be prettier that way? Well, I won't take up more of your time. I'll see you at 10. And just so everyone knows, I wasn't actually offended that time. It wasn't like he was openly saying, you should smile more. He was just sort of like, maybe one day I'll see your smile, and trying to be innocent about it. And I can, that I don't consider to be offensive. I just wanted to make that joke. Again, it's not the, you should smile, the demand for a smile. It was different. 10? Don't tell me you've forgotten. Forgotten what? You're going to town today, remember? I deflate as the realization dawns upon me. It has been 2 days since the king issued the order. Peasants. Ew. Lucette, I'd like you to accompany Emmeline on one of her town outings. Surely you could send maids with her instead. I would not have requested you to accompany her if I was going to send her with the maids. With her maids, excuse me. I want you to make an effort to get along with your sister. How about you make an effort to go... No. Okay. That was a little mean. I'm getting a little too into Lucette. I almost said something nasty that even though it's a fictional character, I don't want to be saying that stuff. Okay. Step-sister. She is your sister, and you will treat her and Rod as if they were of your blood. 2 days from now, you are going to accompany Emmeline outside. It has been 4 years since you last left the palace. Ever since then, you have locked yourself away. You barely leave your room. Angie was in the I'm just going to call it Angie from this point on. Angie was in the grip of war back then, but now the kingdom is safe and back to its former glory. I want you to see how beautiful Angie really is. Lucette, a princess must know her kingdom. Go with Emmeline, and she will show you the town that you only ever see through your windows. Is that an order? If it needs to be. Are we clear? Lucette? Understood. That is not the best way to win over your troubled children, to force them to do things that they don't want to. It's not necessarily okay to just let them get away with whatever the heck they want to either, but there's gotta be a better approach than either you do it my way or no way at all, or leave them do it their way, because their way and your way aren't freaking working like that. Not that I'm a family therapist or anything like that, so what do I know? The last time I left the palace was 4 years ago, and the king took me with him to check on the people after the Great War had ended. I shake my head, removing myself from the memory. I am safe here. Princess, are you alright? It won't be that bad. The townsfolk are good people. How can you be so sure? Times have changed. People change. That is precisely the problem! Mother never changed. Mother loved me until the end. Sometimes change is for the better, Princess. I think you'll see that today. If you'll excuse me, I shall see you later. Delora, do you think witches are capable of bringing back the dead? I wish you could talk to me, you and the others. My dolls are my only friends. They are the only ones I can trust. Unlike humans, they will never betray me. They will never hurt me. They will always be there for me. The moment I saw Delora, I knew she was special. She was different, so elegant and realistic. It was almost as if she was breathing. Never mind how large her head was in comparison to her body. She was a gift from the king on my 17th birthday. I only started receiving dolls from him when Mother passed away. Mother does not believe in birthday celebrations, but every year at midnight a letter would appear under my door. It contained instructions leading me through the palace on an adventure to a room filled with gift, cakes, and sweets. A child's dream. I'd been fascinated by the dolls, which had always held a little greeting card. A card with the words, "I love you," on it, signed by M. The card would tell me to keep those celebrations a special secret, but I didn't need to be told that. Mother always found a way to show me she still cared, in her own way. Those secret celebrations had stopped as soon as she had disappeared. Yes? Excuse me, Your Highness. The king has requested your presence. This better not be another lecture. Tell him I'm on my way. I will see you later, Delora. I have a feeling Delora is going to be importante. Oh. Hello, other anime boy. Good morning, Your Highness. Oh, excuse me, anime man. Sir Mithros, the royal advisor. Father trusts him a great deal, just like he does Sir Alcaster. Every day you look more and more like your mother. I sometimes find Sir Mithros talking to Mother's portrait when he thinks no one is looking. That's not creepy in the slightest. He must have admired her a lot, but I cannot bring myself to think highly of him. There is something about him that puts me on edge. He kind of has the face of a snake, and he talks to your mother's portrait. Alone. When he thinks no one's looking. I wonder what could make you feel kind of off-put about him. Are you on your way to see the king? I shall not keep you then. Until our next meeting, dear princess. He walked away with his evil laugh. Not at all a villain, Your Majesty. Lucette, are you ready? You will enjoy this, Lucette. I've heard the toy shop has lovely dolls. This will be good for you. You will get to know your sister better, and you will be able to interact with and learn about the people of Angie, about our subjects. I will not learn anything I do not already know. Why do you always believe that the people around you are incapable of good? Because I have seen how quickly people will betray and manipulate each other to get what they want. Mother warned me about human nature. You do not see clearly, Lucette. If you would only open your eyes, you would be able to see how good people really are. I believe I am already quite capable of seeing the true nature of people. After all, I have seen that there is no good in you. Lucette, where were you when I needed you 4 years ago? Where have you been ever since? Back then, I'd been overflowing with grief and pain. I had just lost my mother, my entire world. I'd hoped that maybe then he would have shown me love and compassion, even just a hug to let me know someone was there. It had been a childish hope. I had been left alone. I did not see him for months, had barely even heard his voice. You cannot rely on anyone but yourself. You cannot trust anyone but yourself. This is what you have taught me, Your Majesty. I know that I've hurt you. Okay, pause. Wow. So this jerk wasn't around when his daughter needed him. I understand he's king and everything. He had his duties and everything. But he still did that, and now he's trying to force her into a particular lifestyle that he wants, demand that she treat his new wife and their other kids, their stepchildren, as her blood. What? You don't have a right to say, to do, I don't care if you're king, you don't have the right to demand that out of your child when you do that kind of crap. No. You don't have any right to demand that to force her to accept her new family in a way she is not comfortable with when you weren't even there for her original family. Notice I didn't say real family, by the way, because, adopted family is still a family. Anyway, just had to point that out. I know that there is nothing I can do to atone for what I did. How about you stop being a jerk then? Everyone's a jerk in this game for different reasons. But please, Ophelia and her children are not a part of that. They do not deserve to be hated. She can dislike them all she wants, bro. In the end, they still matter more to him than I ever did. And she isn't in a place where she feels like she could voice these opinions, especially because he keeps trying to force her to feel and behave a certain way in regards to these people that she had no choice in whether they were going to be a part of their family or not. You can't just force your kids like that. That's not okay, especially if you're willing to acknowledge that what you did was really crappy parenting. Lucette, enough. I've already said I will go. Everyone is waiting outside. How dare you think that you can smile? Thank you, darling. That could go on forever. I have so many friggin' issues. I was waiting outside. I shudder at the thought of leaving the palace after so many years. Lucette, it will be okay. You don't have any right to say to them that it'll be fine. You'll like it. It'll be for the better in the long run. You have no right whatsoever to... I could go on. How can you be so sure? Thank you for agreeing to accompany Emmeline. She didn't agree to anything. You openly forced her. Don't play. I would not disobey an order from the king. Excuse me. Oh, girl, I didn't like you at first, but you're kind of on fire there. You're still kind of horrible, but at the same time, I cannot help but sympathize. Hello, how can I help? Viorica? Why couldn't it have just been a Violet or something? We're gonna call her Violet. Princess Emmeline, how good to see you. I trail Emmeline, ignoring her as she embraces her friend. I glance around the small shop. The dolls displayed are nowhere near the quality of the ones in my room. I cannot understand why Emmeline insisted she buy gifts for her friends here. I cannot believe I am outside the palace. There's no need to be so tense, princess. There's every need to be tense if this is her first time for freaking years being outside the palace. Stop making me sympathize and agree with her. Stop making me defend her. I don't like her. Quit it. I would never let anything happen to you. Red flag number 3. Your only job is to relax and enjoy yourself. You ask the impossible of me. There is no need to be formal, Violet. I am still the same as I was. Oh yes, Rod's come along as well. It's Been a while, Violet. It's good to see you too, God. And I must introduce you to Her Highness the Crown Princess Lucette. The look on Violet's face as she takes a step back from me is all too familiar. Fear. My apologies for being so rude, Your Highness. Good morning. This is Sir Fitzgerald, Sir Alcaster's son. It's a pleasure to meet you, my lady. Oh, so you're Sir Fitzgerald. You really are his I keep just stumbling on his name. Fitzgerald. It's not even that abnormal a name like the rest of them are, like freaking Viorica here. Viorisa? Risa? Whatever. It's just something about Fitzgerald. Okay, I gotta get over it. Okay, we got this. You really are as handsome as Emmeline described in her letters. That is her stepsister's personal knight. That would come off as this little blonde girl is also trying to steal her sister's one true, like, human friend. Oh, that bad vibes. Something about that blonde chick I'm not liking now. I'm sorry? Please don't mind her, Sir Fitzgerald. Okay, so she might have just a crush on Fitzgerald, but bro, you've already infringed on your sister a lot. And now you're also crushing on her knight. Oh, Emmeline. I'm sorry, Emmeline. Right. So, what brings you all the way here? Oh, I'm here to get some toys. Guess for some new friends. Toys from here? Are you sure? Of course I am. I cross my arms. I would prefer we finish this errand as quickly as possible. Yes, of course. I'm sorry, Your Highness. Princess, I can barely breathe in here. I just want to go back to the palace. Hello, McDonald's. She's what we call McDonald's mommy. Good morning. Up until this point, I had always considered Mother to be the fairest beauty in the land. But McDonald's mommy that walks in is proving me wrong. Her beauty is mesmerizing and clearly without peer. In addition to that, she comes with discounts and coupons. Everyone in the shop is openly staring. Oh, you're early today, ma'am. I have some important errands to run later today. Are the items ready now? Oh, of course. Let me go and fetch them for you. I'll just be one moment, Emmeline. Why is she smiling at me? Oh my god! McDonald's mommy! Here you are, ma'am. Thank you. Oh! She was hot. Oh, that lady was beautiful. You're telling me? Right, any girl standing next to her becomes hopelessly ugly by comparison. Who is she? She's new around town. Some say that she's a fairy. A fairy? Fairies had saved Angie from the witches 4 years ago. Everyone considered them our saviors, and yet the fairies are still unable to stop the Fairytale Curse from spreading. Here you go. Thank you so much. No, thank you, Violet. I hope to drop by again soon. Good. I'll look forward to seeing you again. I hope to see you again as well, Rod. Likewise. I do like Rod's design from the front. Like the way that his hair and his eyes meet, if that makes any sense. Is that weird to say that the way that his eyes and hair meet is... Like, I like how sharp his eyes look, and I also like the hairstyle for the most part. That's cute. That's really cute. It's adorable. Likewise. Leaving the palace was a bad idea. While I am out, I am the center of attention. Some townsfolk point and stare at me. Most, however, make a point of avoiding me, like I am the plague. There are some spiteful stares, but thankfully none are nearly as intense as they were 4 years ago. I'm sure the townsfolk are only surprised to see you again after so many years. Right. Fritz and Rod lag behind us, which leaves only Emmeline walking beside me. I cannot decide which is worse, the staring or her company. Oh, Lucette, look, a street performance. It's been so long since I last watched one. Street performance. Oh no, it's Goth Peter Pan! Good day, everyone. My name is Waltz, and I'm here to spread some happiness and magic! Oh no, it is Goth Peter Pan! The boy named Waltz snaps his fingers, and colorful flower petals start to rain down from the sky. Isn't that pretty, Lucette? And are those the princesses over there? It is an honor to have you in attendance. Please accept this humble gift. He snaps his fingers and white lilies appear in his hand. Oh, thank you. She just blushes so freaking easy. Well, he is Goth Peter Pan. Like, he even has the freaking cross earring. He is Goth Peter Pan. The boy looks at me as if expecting some kind of reaction. When he gets nothing from me, he sighs and gives me a wry smile. That's how you say it. I hope to see you again during the next show. We'll definitely try. He gracefully bows or just dips under the screen for a moment before moving back into his area to perform more magic tricks for a gathering crowd. There are performers like this all around, Angie. I love them. Maybe someday we'll get to see some musicians too. Musicians, not magicians, excuse me. Though they are magical on the instrument. Okay, that was really lame, but I'm sorry. Those are my favorite. I do not intend to leave the palace again. But you don't like it out here? Rod and I grew up here. I love Angie, and this is my favorite part of the kingdom. That's great for you? I wanted to share this with you, Lucette. Freaking thanks. I know you didn't really want to come, but you still tagged along, because she had to. It means a lot to me, so thank you. I did not do this for you. I'm only here because the king ordered me to go with you. I just wanted us to be closer, Lucette. I would like to try and be your friend. I do not want or need your friendship. No matter how you act around me, we are not and will never be sisters. I'd take care to remember that if I were you. But Rod suddenly grabs my hand, pulling me from Emily. Bro, don't go grabbing people. It's not her freaking fault that her dad forced her out here. She's already made it clear several times she's not interested in any of you. Stop. He is staring daggers at me. I think this is the first time I've ever seen him angry. Rod, don't. Let me go. Both of you ought to stay away from me. I feel the heavy atmosphere as I turn to look at the people staring at us. Their expressions mirror the looks of disdain I saw years ago. Anger, disgust, hatred. I begin to walk away. Princess, wait. Don't follow me. Princess. I adjust my cloak, making sure my face is hidden from view. I never should have left the palace. As I walk around, I watch the people bumbling down the street. So carefree. They work so hard for so little reward. They could work their entire lives and never have a fraction of what I have, and yet they are happy. And I heard a niece lost her job at the palace. It's true, Crown Princess Lucette made sure the poor girl was fired. I stopped in my tracks at the mention of my name. Not again. A niece. Was that the name of that one maid that tore Dolores' dress? If so, my decision to fire her was justified. A palace maid cannot be clumsy. Why should I tolerate poor performance? What did I do that was so wrong? I know that Anise, hardworking and big-hearted, very good with medicine. Shame she lost her job so quickly. You know how hard the crown princess is to please. My friend at the palace says she doesn't even smile, only goes around with that cold look on her face. It's probably why they call her the Ice Princess. ice princess. So all those times I heard the servants saying that, I'd always suspected they were talking about me. She's the complete opposite of our Princess Emmeline. That child's an angel. We all know she should be the crown princess. Annoyance begins to simmer inside me. I cannot stand hearing anymore, so I walk away. Ever since Emmeline entered my life, I am always being compared to her. And now I have become second best. I am Lucette Riella Breton, daughter of King Gennaro Breton III, and the crown princess of the kingdom of Anjou. I am of royal blood. She is nothing. There you are. Princess, you must come back with me. It is getting too late for you to remain outside. Princess? Are you alright? Are you hurt? I brush him off and turn away. No need to fuss. Let us return to the palace. Leaving the palace was physically and mentally draining. My bed is welcoming to my unusually heavy body. What I'm worried about is, okay, so what I'm a little bit concerned about at this point is that, yeah, she has some really twisted, first of all, is that Tiana in the corner? Those are some Disney princesses on that shelf. I recognize Cinderella, Tiana, a different version of Belle. Tiana, I love you. Anyway, so, those are actually my 3 favorite princesses. Cinderella, Belle, and Tiana. My bed is welcoming to my unusually heavy body. Okay, that's what I was doing. I got distracted by Disney princesses. Okay, so it seems like this is going to be one of those things where, just to go ahead and make a guess, it seems like this is going to be one of those things where she's going to be cursed to have a better attitude and blah, 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 but it's like, she's pretty justified in some of these attitudes, you know, and they really should be approaching things in a different way for her. And then there's others where, like, if she had just stuck to the original thing at the beginning where she was just being a gigantic jerk, but she doesn't have to accept her new family. She doesn't want to. Okay, so I feel like other than her attitude towards the servants, like, for instance, the ripping of her doll's dress, and of course, just generally believing, like, you guys are less than me. That is definitely worthy of reevaluation and overcoming that. But considering that her father abandoned her during her mother's death, she's being forced to accept her new... I really hope that they don't do this thing where she's just suddenly is okay with her brand new family, and her father suddenly have a healthy relationship because she learned to be better. Because that's not... It's not just her that needs to grow here. It's the father that needs to grow as well. It's the step family that also in their own way needs to grow and realize that they need to stop trying to force themselves on this poor girl, that they need, that, you know, unfortunately, whether you like her rotten attitude towards servants or not, she does need that space and sympathy to, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, this is not the way to do things. This is not how you fucking improve. Excuse my language. This is not how you improve things. I have a bad feeling they're gonna do the toxic thing and be like, now that I've learned my lesson, I accept everything bad that's ever happened to me. I suddenly realize I should have appreciated my new step family and blah blah. And it's like, you know, I had step family with my late stepmother, and you know, I tried to include him in a lot of things, but he made it clear he wanted nothing to do with me, so I just backed off. We actually were able to maintain a civil relationship thanks to that, versus trying to force things. This isn't good on any of the kids to try and force them to get along like this. It's like, it's great that that one blonde chick's like, I want to be friends with you though. Well, she's made it clear that she doesn't want to be friends with you, and even if she wasn't a princess, she doesn't have to be. She doesn't have to be. And considering she didn't have a choice in whether you became part of her family or not, her father just decided that all on his own for his own sake. She also should not and does not have to accept any of you as family either. That's entirely on her. Maybe in the future when she's older, wiser, etc., but not until then, you know? I turn my head and meet Dolores' glassy gaze from where she sits on my shelf. I left the palace today, Delora. It was the same as all those years ago. Everyone looked at me like I was... What have I ever done to deserve those looks? How can I be so hated? And I kind of get where they even made, like, her bad attitude kind of logical to a certain degree as well. It's like, You are in the palace, therefore you cannot be clumsy. Like, she doesn't understand that she's too harsh. And that is true. She's a little too harsh. And in some cases, way too harsh towards servants. But she also has every right again all those other things I said. How can I be so hated? Ice Princess. And also, no one has to smile if they do not want to. Especially when they are freaking hurting. No one is required to give you a friendly face. No one is required to be nice to you. Would I get along with this girl? Maybe, maybe not. I've had several friends in the past that were similar to her. And I would walk away if I felt like they were too toxic. That's just how it works. I wish my mother was here. But she's also been by herself for how long? Thanks to her dad? Thanks to her father? Can you freaking blame her? I look at the smiling faces of my dolls. At least I still have all of you. I yawn and stretch my arms. Good night, Delora. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are. Singing, but who? Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I blink my eyes open only to see Delora sitting right in front of me on my bed. Moonlight spills across her delicate features. How I wonder what you are. Wasn't she on the shelf with all the other dolls when I went to bed? Oh crap. Laura? It's almost time. I pinch my cheeks to make sure I am not dreaming. It hurts. Only 10 minutes before the clock strikes 12. She's hot! Oh no! I hope you're ready, princess. What? My doll just turned into a human. How? Who are you? You know who I am. I've been watching you since the day your father gave me to you. What is happening? I don't think I've ever been so confused in my life. All the answers will come with time, but right now I am here to give you something, princess. She's a witch! A hot, hot witch! Is this Cinderella's very own glass slipper? It is beautiful. Too beautiful. Then a realization begins to dawn upon me. You're a witch! That's what I said. Smart girl. I knew you'd figure that out eventually. Now it's time to say goodbye to your precious crown. What? Uh-oh. Sweet dreams, Cinderella. Ooh, pretty art. Hey, wake up, girl. Huh? Ow, my head. You have some nerve sleeping in front of my shop. Leave before a customer sees you. I was in my room? How am I here? Did you not hear what I said, you filthy child? Filthy? You would speak to your crown princess in such a manner? If you're the crown princess, then I'm the queen. You must have been knocked on the head quite hard to have such grand delusions. I am not delusional. I am Lucette Riella Breton, blood daughter of King Gennaro Breton III and the crown princess of Anjou. Right, the king never had a daughter with that witch. Is she referring to mother? Witch? Don't pretend to be stupid, girl. You can only stare at her, puzzled. Our good king only has stepchildren, Princess Emmeline and Prince Rod. And you are most definitely neither of them. What? Now get gone before you go spouting your crazy gibberish at my customers and scare them away. With a huff, she leaves me to my own rapidly turning thoughts. Let's see something real quick. Menu. Let's go ahead and save. And for right now, I'm gonna actually go ahead and end things here. Just saved, so we're good. So, again, she does have a bad, spoiled attitude towards servants, as I said, but she also has kind of a right to be mad about some things. And it's like, so part of me just feels very sympathetic, and the other part of me is like, I understand what they were trying to go for, but they really shouldn't. I don't even know how to explain it, but like, did she deserve to lose everything? Maybe not. It depends on how the story goes, I suppose, but it's just like, It would have been better if there was like ways that like they all grew together, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, she definitely needs some, you know, an attitude adjustment to a certain degree of, like, again, the service of people that are like below her. That this would be a good experience there, I think. But again, I have the weirdest feeling she's gonna be the only one learning any lessons and the only one that's getting punished for anything. And it's like, Dad really needs to learn his own freaking lesson. I kind of get over the step family. I mean, like, they're just trying really hard to be part of her family. They're just trying really hard to like her and to kind of accept her into their family, not just them trying to force themselves into hers. But that dad needs to back off. The dad needs to learn a lesson too. It's not just her. The dad needs to know that what he did was really crappy and that he continues to be really crappy towards her. So that'll be it. That is my rant. So far I'm kind of getting into the story because, again, I'm really curious about what they're going to do. Are they going to do the stereotypical route where it's just going to be her and she just needs to have a better attitude in general and just accept everything and everyone, who cares that anything bad ever happened to her, period? Or are they going to do a thing where, like, the father realizes, hey, what I did was really crappy, I'm sorry, can we try to learn from this, versus I can't do anything to make up for it, so I'm not gonna bother. I don't know, like, I just can't see that there would be too many ways of repairing this relationship, to be honest, but you can at least get to a point where you're civil, if that makes sense. I would think. Me, having come from a broken home, having been around several people from broken homes, it's just, yeah, it hits kind of hard to a certain degree. Now, I've never looked down on other people like that, because when I grew up poor and everything, so maybe that's part of it, but yeah, I don't agree with that attitude at all. And the ripping of the dress of a doll. Like, I see where she was being, like, overly logical and way too harsh with it, for certain. I kind of understood what she was saying, but it's like, it's a doll, honey. And yeah, it may be really expensive and unique, but I mean, like, it's a doll, and you're a princess who's extremely rich and can easily have that dress repaired or exactly replicated with the same materials. Now, if it were like a really antique doll, where, you know, like, it's impossible to replace that, then I don't know if firing would be worth it, but I would definitely be angry. But in the end, it's also just sort of like, I don't think that a person is equivalent to a material possession. So it's like, I wouldn't want anybody to lose their job over something like that. But that would involve a very harsh lecturing. I don't know. Maybe even then I'm being too materialistic. But that's my take on things so far. If you like the video, feel free to like the video. If you like me, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that different stuff. And I hope I didn't come off as too materialistic or too angry for the spoiled girl. Okay, bye-bye.